we move over from the Eifel Mountain region to the Iberian region as we go from round 5 from Nürburgring to round 6 in Portugal, specifically the Estoril Circuit Prix 1994 layout. I'm joined by Courtney Cass this time around.
Hello, my season's going swimmingly so far.
Swimmingly, just like your Megatron engines. After yet another... Well, it wasn't the engine this time, it was a puncture for Sebastian Vettel from the race lead.
Well, yeah, the engine was spinning the wheels too fast, though, you see.
And
that was the problem.
Causing the tyres to delaminate.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. How familiar are you with the Estoril circuit?
I know it's got an E in it.
That's not very familiar at all.
Yeah.
Well, think of Barcelona as a poor man's bastardised version of Estoril, because this is just a better version of Barcelona.
Oh, okay.
Yep, it's not a bad circuit. The second year in a row now where we've ran Estoril, having run it in 2014, where Sebastian Vettel won from Lewis Hamilton. That was a bad race for myself and Willows. We were both commentating on that.
Oh my god, it is like Spain.
It is, but it's better.
Yeah, well...
Just look at it.
I don't know how I've never noticed that before, because they used to race Estoril back in like 90...
Last race was 96.
96, right. So I remember I will have seen it on, because I used to collect the old F1 manuals, the ITV ones.
Yeah.
And I remember having all of them and kind of just going through it and it had all the circuit maps on them and
Yes,
stuff on it. So.
That's the one, yeah. There's two big milestones coming up in the next couple of races. This will be FJR's 500th race. I'll get onto those milestones in a moment, so there's asterisks. But on pole position is Fernando Alonso, 31st career pole. Let me double check that. Romain Grosjean is second on the grid, ahead of Thomas Gonzalez, and Valtteri Bottas higher than usual, but he is running soft tyres. So that explains a higher grid slot than usual for the Mugen-engined car. Fifth on the grid is Nico Hülkenberg with Cooper Lee alongside him, or Mitchell Rowe 3. Next up we have got in 7th position Antonio Felix da Costa in front of his home crowd. That's a good effort. Also on soft tyres, and alongside him is Sebastian Vettel. Then we've got Sergio Perez in 9th, ahead of Kimi Räikkönen in 10th for the Meister team, and I think Felipe Massa qualified 11th. There is confirmation of that.
They're inseparable, those two. They always qualify just after each other. Have you noticed that?
Yes, they're usually on the same row, but this time around the 10th and 11th. We saw Hamilton in 12th, then we've got Ricciardo 13th and Rosberg 14th. Rosberg on the podium last time out at the Nürburgring. Carlos Sainz is 15th, also on soft tyres, I think. Itsuki Yoshida is 16th on the grid, so
That's not bad. That's not bad.
It's not bad, yeah. Not good is Kevin Magnussen down in 18th, and Stoffel van Dorn in 17th. Next up, we've got Jensen Button in 19th, who's having a bit of a dismal season, really.
Yeah, it's not been great. I'm sure there's a way to blame Whiteley for that somehow.
It's usually Whiteley's fault.
Yeah, and Charles Pick.
There's Charlotte Plectrum, last on the grid.
He's always picking up the scraps. Hey.
Wait, he's called Charlotte Plectrum now.
Okay.
But anyway, here is the starting grid, pole position on the inside. Red lights on. Different procedure this time, because once the red light goes off, the green light goes on. And Fernando Alonso gets a good start. Romain Grosjean, similarly good start as well. It's a long run down to the first corner. What's going to happen? There's Bottas, who's challenging for the lead, and it's going to be the GRM of Bottas who takes the lead of the race from 4th on the grid. Good start from him. Taking Alonso is 2nd now. And Grosjean 3rd. Hülkenberg up to 4th. Gonzalez down to 5th. So that's a poor start from the second Tornado driver. Da Costa up a position to 6th. Then we've got Cooper Lee 7th and Sebastian Vettel in 8th position.
And is that his engine going?
Not yet. So, as I mentioned before, it's FJR's 500th race this time round, but with a couple of asterisks. It does include the Masters era, where it had 131 races, and it does not include the 1988 season, which was declared void due to a hardware failure.
Fair enough. Are you the only team to have competed in every race? Or has Guy done the same as well?
Okay, so the next race afterwards will be Guy's 500th race as well. Both of us failed to qualify for one race each, and Guy did not take part in the 1950 race. So
there's a little bit of stats for you there.
And the race that I did not take part in, we both commentated on that, and It had me playing guitar in the background.
Oh, was that the American one? Or
Yeah.
something? Yeah, I remember that. We were going through a weird phase there.
And let's get back to the action because we've got something important.
Go on, Sebi boy.
It's Sebastian Vettel taking 7th off of Cooper Lee, who's had a very, very checkered season so far, to put it kindly. He's been qualifying well in the Mitchell, but not exactly finishing the races, as Alonso is the fastest driver on the circuit at the moment. Oh, Bottas wide a bit, and you need some new underwear after that one.
So is that going to be the corner like in the Mugello last time out, where the AI doesn't like it very much?
There's 2 corners to watch out for. That's one of them. And then the next one is... It's not this one. Everyone's fine through the parabolica, but it's a couple of corners before that. Hopefully, if somebody goes off, probably one of your guys, then I'll be able to point out.
Look at the speed of that thing.
And this poses the next question. Are you running higher engine modes?
I'm not... what do I say?
No.
Well, I want some customers next season.
Are you going to say no comment?
So I'm going to say no comment. I'm using some ERS, but whether it's mode 2 or 3, I'll let people decide. I don't know whether they'd be impressed that it's mode 2 or extremely worried by the fact that even mode 2 is so unreliable. But
I can hear the faint cry of Whiteley crying in pain as Lewis Hamilton comes in for an unscheduled pit stop. Fastest driver on the track is Rosberg as Vettel takes Gonzalez for 5th position. Here's Perez versus Da Costa for 7th position. And there's the fastest. Oh, ooh. Perez! Oof! How did he get away with that one?
I don't think he's gonna.
No! Perez versus one of the Meisters.
Might be a big pile up here.
And they're all seeing the danger. Most of them. Yep, all of them. So which Meister was that? I think it was Kimi Raikkonen because he's dropping down the order below Massa and Van Dorn. Now, this is the second problem corner right here. And no problems for Hülkenberg and Vettel as they go through the penultimate corner into the parabolica. And you can see no runoff at all and loads of conifer trees on the outside.
So look, for future potential customers, look at the speed, look at the power.
And look at the fastest lap.
It is quite worrying how quickly he's cutting through the field. I do think I might have over-egged it a little bit and neglected the old controller electronics a little bit. But I will fix that. I will fix that as the season goes on. And I'm welcoming all new customers. We have great customer service.
And Sainz off the track. Bang! That's a wheel gone out of the race goes Carlos Sainz, who's quite a way down the order anyway, but that's unfortunate for the second GRM driver. Sergio Perez was coming into the pits for something. This is Vettel. What's he going to do now?
Okay.
He's already caught up to Roman Grosjean on this lap. He's flying his Vettel. Now, I did not check these strategies as Rosberg sets a new fastest lap, so I think Willows are going for a similar tactic to you, running higher engine modes for a bit.
I thought I would have fixed my problem because I did quite a bit of CE testing at the last break, so I didn't. Yeah, I didn't turn the engines down because I thought, it'll be fine now. And we've lasted 9 laps so far, so maybe.
Yeah, both drivers still in it. Vettel up in 3rd, Itsuki Yoshida in 12th at the moment, so he's had a good race from 16th on the grid so far.
Do you know, he's impressed me as Yoshida.
He's not doing too badly.
No, not at all. I mean, it's hard to follow up. It's hard to be Vettel's teammate, to be fair.
Yeah.
But he's doing all right.
Bottas is doing all right, actually. He's kept the lead from Alonso so far, and it's only 0.7 of a second, though, so I think Bottas is proving a bit of a cork in the bottle as Rosberg takes Gonzalez for 6th position. So I don't think Tornado are running higher engine modes at all for this race because... is that Alonso? It's Alonso out of the race! So it's just gone from bad to worse for Tornado. That's going to dent his championship lead somewhat. So first retirement of the season for Tornado.
A wheel?
He's crashed it.
Yeah.
Well, so it's a mistake from Alonso at the first corner, presumably. You can see missed the apex off the track, and
right in the little bit that juts out.
That is a dangerous point of the track. We've seen a lot of drivers crash there, both Willows last season. One of the Willows there. Vettel is going to hit some debris, is it? That's... not quite. So he's gotten away with it. I think AJ might have put that in the replay just for your benefit. Rosberg is on the move again. He's just taken Hulkenberg for 4th position, so we've got 2 Germans on a right charge. Let's see the gap. It's 4.9 seconds between Bottas and Vettel, and they're about even Stevens on the 11th lap. And that's Van Dorn taking Cooper Leaf for 8th position, so the Willows is looking very quick in this race.
Yeah, you were saying, weren't you, that you suspect the Willows are running high engine modes?
I do suspect, yes.
Yeah.
Because not only is Rosberg flying, but Van Dorn is similarly flying as well. But I don't think he'll tell us if he's running 2 or 3, but I think he definitely is running one of them. I must admit I'm running higher engine modes in this race as well, but it's not working quite as well.
On the hard tyres as well, same as Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah, and I think I'm running hards on both my drivers as well. I'm getting the hards out of the way early, as Rosberg is going to get Grosjean out of the way. Not quite. There's a big chop from Roman, who qualified 2nd, so easily one of, I think, matching Pedersen's best qualifying of the year. I think I might be mistaken on that. So Grosjean 2nd on the grid. Now he's running 3rd, so looking for his first points of the season, because he's had 4 retirements and an out-of-points finish.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
Not been a good season for Grosjean so far.
He had a shot at the championship last season. He was a bit of a dark horse for me this year. I thought he might have done a bit better than that so far, but not that I can talk. After my disastrous start of the season so far.
I'll be honest, I'm not exactly hopeful about my engine either. I mean, it's reliable, but it's not quick. I just want some customers, because I'm so ronery.
We need to. This commentary is just going to be a advert for the. You're Judd, aren't you?
I am Judd, yeah.
Yeah, and Judd and Megatron engines. I mean, it's a hard sell for me, I know, but that's the thing, though. Would you prefer something fast and unreliable or slow and reliable?
Well, I had let's see, Van Dorn taking Da Costa for 7th first down the main straight into the first corner, which is nicely banked. But it's been causing all the problems. Gonzalez is due in the pits this lap and low on fuel. So this looks like 3 stops for Gonzalez, or if he's going to do a short first stint, 2 stop. Let's keep an eye on this pit stop. I had slow and reliable in Season 3 of the Masters era, and it did not work.
It certainly adds an extra element of excitement for the audience if you've got a fast but unreliable engine.
Yeah. Whiteley had the opposite in the same season for his Exolite team as Charles Pitt comes into the pits, and he had 2 wins. That was the season where he was away and I chose his team for him, and he did much better than me.
Oh, God.
His pit indicators on, so
Right,
Vettel is in the pits this lap. I think Gonzalez is 3-stopping because he took on an additional 21 laps of petrol. That should take him to lap 38.
I mean, given Vettel's pace, it would make sense if he's 3-stopping as well.
I don't know, actually. I mean, let's have a look at his pit stop. So, up on the jacks, 19 laps. I think that's going to lap 36. He's being held up a bit because we've got Da Costa coming down the pit lane and Cooper Lee as well. So, bit of a delay for Vettel as he now goes down the pits.
I'll be sending a strongly worded letter to the team bosses for that one.
That'll be Mitchell's Cooper Lee, and we've got some side-by-side between Gonzalez and Massa, is it? No, it's Raikkonen who's made his way back up the order, but very much out of sequence in the pit stops. No, in fact, it was Massa who hit... who was it? It was Carlos Sainz, wasn't it? No, it was Perez. It was Perez, yeah. It must have been Massa, so never mind. Kimi Raikkonen is up the order in 11th at the moment. As into the pits comes 3rd place now, Nico Rosberg. It was a temporary 3rd because Vettel was occupying 2nd at one point. You can see on the right-hand side, let's try and work out what year that is. That's a Tyrrell. We've got Williams.
Williams with the camel livery.
There was March as well, so that indicates 1988 or further back. It could be 1989. Trying to remember what the Tyrrells looked like. This is Raikkonen versus Gonzalez once again.
I think it might be later, because it had the Benetton... Nah, actually, Benetton had the green for... Yeah, no, I'm talking nonsense, sorry. I was thinking it might have been like 92 or something like that, but...
March became Leighton House in...
Yeah.
It could be 92, actually. March were around... Had become March once again from Leighton House.
Oh, had they?
No, the Benettons are different colours, so... Yeah, late 80s, but before 1990. Grosjean made a pit stop, and he's rejoined well in the action in 4th position, just behind Rosberg. So, looking good for Grosjean so far.
He looked visibly fast through that corner then.
I
thought he was about to go wide. And that is because he is powered by the amazing Megatron engine. Get your Megatron engine now, or next season, for a low price, probably.
And so, has Gonzalez been overtaken around the outside? Oh, he's spun it! Gonzalez having a spin after some slight contact with, I think that must have been Jensen Button, because it was Gonzalez versus, I've lost track, it'll get up against a Meister of Raikkonen, and then, yeah, it must have been Button who had contact with Gonzalez. Here's a look at Kevin Magnussen now, and this is up against Lewis Hamilton going through the Parabolica.
They've got a Parabolica here?
They've got a Parabolica, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we've got a few corners that are called Parabolica. We've got this one, Monza. Dijon had a corner called Parabolique.
Did it have one called Mustard as well?
No.
Oh, well, that was a missed opportunity.
Yeah, Dijon,
and don't miss your opportunity to get a Megatron engine next season.
Yeah, don't get a Judd because Magnussen's got a problem. I don't know what it said on the steering wheel. I think it was brakes.
It. Well, his engine's so powerful it's worn out the brakes.
And we're seeing this Tornado's straight line speed's not particularly good because it struggled to get past its customer counterpart of the Meister earlier on as Da Costa versus Raikkonen for 7th position. There's some chattering going on the Meister, but there goes Da Costa up a position. That's 7th.
This is going to end up in a trip to the nurse's office.
And Rosberg from 2nd position out of the race. So that's Willow's gone. But we've got Van Dorn still in the points, so it's not a total disaster just yet.
And that somewhat confirms your suspicions of the higher engine modes.
There's one clue as he's holding up Vettel quite a lot through the right-hand kink into the Parabolica interior corner. That's turn number 6. And shortly we'll be seeing Rosberg pulling off onto the grass. He's not doing it just yet. He still thinks he can... There we go.
Just gives the wall a friendly little tap on the way there. So let the wall know that he's there.
So no points for Rosberg. And meanwhile, we've got Bottas still in lead by 6.4 seconds from Romain Grosjean. And Vettel, I think he'll have dropped back a little bit because he got held up quite badly by Rosberg's blown engine. What else does this do? It moves Hülkenberg up to 4th, Van Dorn up to 5th, Da Costa up to 6th now. Itsuki Yoshida's up to 7th, and sneaking up into the points is Jean-Eric Verne. Van Dorn's just going to take 4th position from Nico Hülkenberg, so while one Willows is out, the other one is making up for it.
Yeah, Van Dorn's having a good race.
He had a cracking Mugello, one of my drivers of the day that day. Went from 17th, I think, up to third in the final positions, and similarly, Bottas was 11th on the grid for that race and finished 2nd.
How did FF1M Van Dorn do in GP2 or
FF2M? He was a Willows front runner in last season, so he'll have been promoted from the Willows junior team up to the main team.
And that confirms 3 stops for Vettel.
Yep, 3 stops for Vettel. That's an additional, that's 20 laps. They usually run it to about 3 laps to the end. So about lap 53, Vettel will be due back into the pits.
And you know what? Yoshida, not doing bad.
Not bad indeed, as Valtteri Bottas is going to make a pit stop. Had a comfortable 6.4 second lead last time I checked. So Bottas looking quite good. Looking good for his 3rd possible win, and GRM's 3rd possible win as well.
Interestingly, using the softs.
I think the first time that GRMs are going for the softs for this race, as Van Dorn comes into the pits from what was 2nd position, and there's confirmation 3 stops. So I think most of the field are doing 3 stops.
Yep.
Probably due to a few extras running the soft tyres, maybe. That's Yoshida coming out of the pits from his second stop as Kubica took Da Costa for 8th position down the main straight. Now this is Da Costa, who's got Yoshida right behind him. The first corner, that looks wide. That looks very wide. Oh, he's gotten away with a rear wing and a broken front wing, so he's still in the race, but...
It's going to be wickedly fast in a straight line now.
Yes, no wings. But way down the order. That's a shame in front of his home crowd.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one that he lost the middle plane of the rear wing. They can change the rear wings in I forget the name of the game now.
In GP4, they can change rear wings
GP4, yeah.
as quick as they change the front wings.
Just one big bolt in the middle.
Yeah. There's a battle going on between the two V's, between Vettel and Van Dorn. I got my words mixed up somehow.
Yeah, Van Dorn's got some serious pace there.
Now let's see the difference between Megatron on higher engine modes versus Ilmore on higher engine modes. And, well, they're not enough of a slipstream, so I think you're basically like in a game of chess. You're both checking
here comes the chess analysis.
Here's a chess analogy.
Like Crofty with his every single F1 race, pulls out a chess analysis and a boxing analysis. All the jabs and the counter jabs, and it just does my absolute head in.
I think the most annoying thing about Crofty is that he says Curva... Yeah. is that he says Curva Grande wrong.
Yeah.
He says it more French.
Yeah.
Get your languages right.
I saw a Philips car stereo advertisement there.
Who's he?
Very good.
So, this is Vettel versus Van Dorn for another lap.
I love just how damp the atmosphere there when you said that. It was even for one of my jokes, that was pretty bad. There's an absolute Murrayism there.
Now he's firmly in the slipstream for 3rd position. Here comes Van Dorn.
Right, that thing's on engine mode 3. I'm telling you now. Nobody mugs a Megatron like that without being on engine mode 3.
But it's 3rd position nonetheless, and he's got Grosjean not far at all in front of him. I'll reword that sentence. Grosjean is not far ahead of him. Just 2 seconds as they cross the first sector point. And here's another lap, and out the pits comes, is that Massa going to interfere? Ooh, that's gonna cause a bit of friction within Pedersen. Coming up to lap the pair of them, Grosjean and Van Dorn. There's some interesting lines being taken through turn 3.
Grosjean was shaking his baguette at him as he went past. Hold on a minute, that wasn't his baguette.
Oh, big lockup for the Frenchman, and wide, and just about getting away with it. But he's grimly hanging on as I think his teammate is making a pit stop. Is he? What's his red indicator doing? Is that just...
Has he got a problem?
Perez is still in the race because he's up in 15th.
Yeah, he did. I don't think he got terminal damage, did he? I remember seeing him spin round at the end.
I just assumed that with an impact as big as that, he retired. But no, there is confirmation of Perez still in the race. And this is going to be a slam dunk for 2nd position. Van Dorn takes Grosjean down the main straight for 2nd. Now, what is the gap between Bottas and Van Dorn? It was 8 seconds as they crossed the line. And he's flying, is Van Dorn. It's 2 tenths, but he's going to make a pit stop, his 3rd of the race, anytime soon. And we haven't seen any drivers go off at this corner yet. No problems so far.
It's a fairly healthy... There's only been 3 retirees so far, I think, hasn't there?
Yeah,
Costa?
He's still in the race, I think, but way down the order after 2 changed wings. No, pit stop race, Van Dorn versus Grosjean. Now, who has the first garage? It is Van Dorn. It does favour Van Dorn because the car in front tends to wait as the cars come down the pits. So Van Dorn should maintain 2nd, 5.5 seconds. That is an easy 2nd for Van Dorn. So far, Vettel is back up to 2nd, but still needing to make a final stop. I think Bottas needs to make a final stop as well. It's a pit stop race favouring the Willows. And there's a battle between Kubica and Yoshida. Yoshida just took Kubica, but Kubica was making a pit stop. This is race leader Bottas into the pits. Needs to be a quick one. Target to get a comfortable gap over Van Dorn, as out of the pits comes one of the FJRs. I think it was Pick. And one of the X-Lights coming out as well.
Is Bottas going to retain his lead? It looks like he is.
He is indeed. And quite a way in the lead as well.
That's ahead.
As Yoshida makes a pit stop.
On the mediums, as you can see. I think that's the first time he's run the mediums, possibly.
And is Vettel on the hards?
Yeah, he is, yeah.
He's splitting your tyres for this race.
Was that... I thought that man was in the nude then. Did you see him for a second? He had quite a fleshy coloured onesie on.
I didn't see, actually. Oh, Bottas! Oh, no! What's happened here? So, coming down the main straight... There's two cars in... Oh, he just missed the apex completely. That's a big one. Oof.
Yeah, that one's... I think it was only the rear wing lost, but he's still... Unless a wheel came off as well, I'm not sure.
So he had an FJR versus Gonzalez. He's had a terrible race. I don't know if the Gonzalez go down the order so badly, but entire rear wing... Oof.
I think that's a suspension failure as well. It looks really low.
Yeah, and I think he lost the engine immediately as well, because the Marshal was very quick out on the circuit. So that moves Van Dorn into the race lead, as Yoshida is in 6th position, chasing Jean-Eric Verne for 5th. Oh! Ooh. That was Verne versus... Who was that? Was that Hulkenberg? Or was it? It's the Latch de Costa, who's going to understeer off the first corner and, well, taking to the grass and grinding the rail around the outside, and then gets piled from behind by Jean-Eric Verne.
Who do you think he is? Tony Hawk? Grinding the rail like that.
Yeah, you need to get onto the Armco to do the board slide. I think that's more of a rail ride. Well, I don't know, really. Oof. But yeah, there's a big impact. So that moves Yoshida up a position to 5th. And Da Costa got away with it as well.
And that's Vettel, still in the race.
And there's 8 laps to go as well. Van Dorn is 3 seconds ahead of Roman Grosjean. But now Vettel is a bit on the move. He's only 3/10 behind Grosjean as they cross the first sector point. He's got Perez in front of him, so Perez could do a good blocking job like he did with Lewis Hamilton in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, remember Perez? Remember how nice I was when you were driving for my team? Just do us a solid here, would you?
I'm just waiting for Grosjean to be like, Dzeko is a legend. That's my attempt at a French accent.
It was Grosjean, so he's normally a bit more complaining than that.
That was stupid whoever it was in front.
Absolute mental guy.
And Da Costa is out of the race, finally.
And
I mean that nicely, because he's had an adventure.
That's the little lump of sweet corn on top of the turd sandwich of the race. for Da Costa. And is this 2nd position for Vettel going down the main straight? It is indeed. So Vettel is up to 2nd just before the yellow flags. So that must have been where Da Costa had his little crash. He crashed there again? I think he has done. So is it first corner again? Yes, it... Oh, goodness me. Oh no, Yoshida! Was that Yoshida? That serves me right for laughing. I think he's gotten away with it. Somehow. Well, Lady Luck's on your... Is that Van Dorn? No, Van Dorn! That's from the race lead with 5 laps to go. What were you saying about Lady Luck? It's on your side. There is 5 laps remaining. There is 5 laps to go. So where's Vettel? Is that Vettel about to take the lead? So well, we have to get through the 4th corner first. Doing a bit of vaping. And wait for it. There goes Vettel into the lead, and there goes Grosjean being blocked badly. So again, Lady Luck on your side. Yeah, this has worked out all right so far. Still a couple of corners to go. Is that? He's still at the Parabolica. So yeah. He's not given up, but now his engine's dead. That's tragic. Oh, I feel sorry for Van Dorn. He hasn't won a race yet, has he? This is his first season. It's his first season. He was 17th on the grid as well. Yeah, that would have been one hell of a drive. Absolutely. So Grosjean now up to 2nd. Hulkenberg is now up to 3rd after what's been a quiet race so far for the Mitchell. Oh, there's 2 laps left. Courtney's diarrheaing himself at the moment. I think this is 2.5 laps to go. What else has happened? Yoshida's up in 4th position, Kubica 5th, Ricciardo 6th, Cooper Lee up to 7th, and there's an FJR in the points.
somehow with Magnussen in 8th.
Hamilton down in 9th for... Yeah, that X-Light is that Hamilton in front of him, actually?
I think it might be, or is it Button about to go a lap down?
Yeah,
Who knows?
I think it'll be...
If you have a closer look... Even I couldn't tell, but oof, goodness me, that's a big battle going down at the first corner. But now on this penultimate lap is Sebastian Vettel. So Grosjean's only 1.7 seconds behind, so it's been a close race between the front runners.
I think the straight line speed of the Megatron engine really helped Vettel out here. Breaking that toe. And if he retires from this race, I'm going to be breaking my toe on the couch when I kick it.
It happened to me once in Canada last season.
I remember that. That was brutal.
Savage is a fairly appropriate word for that.
I'm just really hoping this is an AJ troll move where he shows the last couple of laps just to make my heart rate go up a little bit. If he does bring it home though, this will continue my 100% record of any race that he finishes, he wins. Yes,
he's trying to do the Heidfeld from 2001 because that was a win or nil for himself in the Pedersen.
It's amazing how different the drivers are in FF1M, because when you think of Heidfeld in F1, you don't necessarily think win or bust, do you? You think fourth.
And the big battle we could see in front was between Pick, Massa and Gonzalez. So that was the big three-way battle going on between those three. And I think it's Gonzalez challenging Pick with Massa somewhere in front.
That is correct. Three-ways do generally tend to be with three people. Sorry. So if he broke down now, that would serve me right.
That would be pure karma.
Yeah, it would be.
Well, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 more corners to go now. Here comes one of them. It is a problem corner. It was last season, but it was fine there. That's one more. There's the penultimate corner gone. So just the Parabolica to go, and no smoke out of the back. So I think Vettel is going to win his second race win of the season. Out of the Parabolica, and that fact is indeed confirmed. Win number 2 for Sebastian Vettel this season, as there's still a big battle between Pick, Gonzalez, and it's actually Verne. So it's a big battle for 11th.
Right, we'll need you to coast it back, Sebby.
Now what happens here? Verne round the outside of Gonzalez at the first corner. That Tornado's not quick in a straight line at all. Oh no, Pick is slowing down a bit.
That looks like a problem.
Probably, yeah, but it was on the last lap, so I'll still get some good development. So Vettel takes his 14th career win. Let me double check that.
Is that all he's won? It feels like he's won more than that. I'm not gonna doubt it.
Yeah, 14th career win. That's even though he's a 2-time champion.
Yeah.
And Grosjean takes his first points of the season with a second place, so that's also his first podium of the season as well. And Nico Hülkenberg third, with Itsuki Yoshida fourth, and...
Round of applause for that, man.
Right, so something happened because Magnussen took Cooper Lee for 7th on the closing stages, so it's 2 points for FJR. So he's 7th, and Cooper Lee gets another point in 8th. And, yeah, what happened to Pick at the end? And, yeah, Gonzalez dropped behind Pick as well, so Verne took 2 positions on that last lap.
I wonder if they collected each other.
I don't think so, because they've still crossed the line to finish their final lap.
Yeah.
And you can see key retirements. The most heartbreaking one, definitely Van Dorn and Bottas.
Yeah, even I felt a little bit bad for Van Dorn on that one.
Definitely. So what does that do for the championship now? With Alonso's failure to finish, he now sits 20 points ahead of Sebastian Vettel, who shoots up ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. And we've got Thomas Gonzalez, who drops down to 4th, thanks to Vettel's win.
Yeah, whilst it's a worst-case scenario for Fernando Alonso, it's still looking pretty healthy for him.
And neither Meister scoring points either, but they remain 5th and 6th in what has been a very good season for Meister so far.
Yeah.
They sit 2nd in the championship, ahead of Schakenbeck, who now move up to 3rd in the championship thanks to a double points finish for yourself, Vettel and Yoshida.
Go on it, Sue.
So Tornado and Meister fail to score. And what else happens? We've got 2 Yorkshire teams in the bottom 2. That's lovely.
Yeah, Exolite have had a pretty poor one so far. I mean, even when you got Hamilton driving in that team, it was I don't think we saw him once, did we?
He came into the pits very early with an issue. So that explains why he was so far down the order. And that concludes the Portuguese Grand Prix. Next up will be the Monaco Grand Prix and the conglomerate known as Guy Racing's 500th race. So from the two of us, we shall see you then.
Ta-ra! I'm in a good mood now. I was getting ready to throw my slippers out the window.